Oh gosh, this is weird, isn't it? Isn't it? This is a case from the UK. Believe it or not, a 76-year-old man, I believe, has been arrested on suspicion of poisoning eight children at a Christian summer camp. Oh my God. I mean, when I saw this, I just thought, and a lot of people have sent me emails about this. Thank you so much. I haven't replied to emails for a couple of days, but I will get onto them. But I'd seen it, it's all over the news, obviously, because it's a big thing, isn't it? I mean, where do you even start with this? So this has happened, the fact that it's a pensioner who's done it. It's 8 children that have been poisoned. Now, they're all okay. I just want to make that clear. They've all survived. So maybe there wasn't an intent to kill, but there was definitely an intent to make them ill. Who would do that? Honestly, you really never know, do you? You really never know what's going on in people's heads. So who is this 76-year-old pensioner? The police haven't released his name yet, or as far as I know so far, we don't know who they are. But who would harbour that hatred towards children? Obviously we just covered a big poisoning case, didn't we, with the mushroom murders. And, there was a bit of sort of wonderment about the motive there, but I think that was just spite, wasn't it? And this is probably going to end up just being spite, but to poison children. And the thing is, we don't know what they used to poison them either yet. Let's get let me put a video on that will give you a background to it, just in case you don't know yet about this case. Let's see, which one shall I don't know where to start with it, to be honest. Let's start with the police conference, I think. So this is the police conference yesterday. Actually, I wonder. So this happened in Melton Mowbray in the UK. I'm going to get it up on Google Maps. So Melton, this is the area. Let's see where it is in connection. My geography's, it's near Leicester, is it? Oh, so we've got Leicester here, Nottingham, and here's Melton Mowbray, and it is the home of pork pies, isn't it? Or, there's famous pork pies made in Melton Mowbray. So this is where it happened, in this area. Oh, not that far from Birmingham. We've got Birmingham, Leicester, Coventry, etc., to give people an idea of the area. And if you are totally clueless with British geography, here's the map of the UK or England, etc. It's here. So it's not far from Birmingham, is it? Sort of the Midlands, isn't it then? Okay, so let's have a look at the police conference. When I saw this, I just thought, oh my God, you think the world's crazy. Every day brings another crazy thing, doesn't it? But this is particularly crazy. But I feel like I'm always saying that. This is particularly crazy. This is particularly crazy. It's just one crazy thing after another, isn't it, at the moment? Right. Let me start the press conference. Right, it might be a little, let me fast forward it a bit because getting it ready. Oh my God. Oh, there he is.
This is Assistant Chief Constable James Avery. James.
There we go.
On Sunday, the 27th of July, a report was received by Leicestershire Police concerning children feeling unwell at a summer camp in Canal Lane, Statham. Following the report, officers were deployed alongside colleagues from the East Midlands Ambulance Service to safeguard those children involved. A triage centre was set up in partnership with East Midlands Ambulance Service to assess all children present at the camp. Following an initial assessment, I can confirm 8 children were taken to hospital as a precaution and have all since been discharged. Officers have been in contact.
So the good news is that they've all been discharged from hospital, so they're okay. So what was the intention here? Just like to disrupt the summer camp? You know, the thing is, when you're dealing with children, I mean, I don't know what poison the person used. It certainly wasn't death cap mushrooms, was it? Because they would be dead, wouldn't they? But, you know, you're dealing with children here, so they're tiny bodies, aren't they? They can't cope with things like adults can. So that's like a real game of Russian roulette, isn't it, to try and poison children with anything? Because, you know, their little bodies can't cope with things that grown-up bodies can. I mean, I'm not saying you should poison anyone, but do you know what I mean? It's like you couldn't be sure that somebody wasn't going to die when you're poisoning children. Just don't know how they're going to react. I mean, who would even do that? And how would they do that? So they must have put something in their food or drink, mustn't they? You know, and the other thing I just want to say, actually, and I want to say earlier and I forgot, this is so worrying because remember, more or less this time last year was the Southport attacks when, you know, Looney Tunes went off and killed those 3 little girls, Elsie, Alice and BB. And they went off to not a summer camp like this, but a summer activity, a Taylor Swift themed workshop, you know, looking forward to it. It was school holidays. So, and this is like apparently some sort of camp for children. You know what, parents can't even send their children off to a summer school or to have some fun, you know, worrying what's going to happen to them because there's so many psychopaths out there. Oh my God, just awful, isn't it? You send your children off to a summer school. I've sent my son to a summer school before when he was little. Luckily for me as well, 2 years I had my own summer school that he came to. But you know, these are not accidents either. These are deliberate things. You know, there's always an accident that can happen when you send your child away anyway, or if you've got your child with you. You know, as we saw with the children swimming on the beach in Spain, you can never guarantee your child's safety 100%. But you don't expect deliberate acts of cruelty against your children when you send them off to summer camps and workshops and things.
With the parents or the guardians of those children who were taken to hospital. I can confirm that a 76-year-old man was arrested
76?
On suspicion of administering poison or a noxious substance.
Oh.
He remains in custody at this time. The investigation is now being led by the East Midlands Specialist Operations Unit Major Investigation Team.
Now, you know, at 76, you think you'd outgrown the angry young man stage, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, I think there's a lot of teenagers have a lot of mental health problems, don't they? And then young adults, etc. Surely by the time you've got 76, you'd have, you know, not be harbouring all that hate still inside you. And then it makes me wonder, a 76-year-old man suddenly administering poison to children. Can you really believe that that's the first time they've ever done anything? At 76, they suddenly decided to be a twat. Sorry, a twonk. I shouldn't swear. What? At they've probably been a twat all their lives, a twonk all their lives. What else have they done over the years? Just can't believe. It'd be like me waking up now, tomorrow. I mean, I'm not as old as him, but you know, in advancing years, and thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to go and poison all my students. No, and I've not done anything for 62 years. And then suddenly I decide that I'm going to poison someone or kill someone or shoot someone or stab someone. You know, this guy's not arrived at 76, in my opinion. He's not arrived at 76 without ever doing anything horrible before. And in which case, how was he even anywhere near children? Or was he near them? Or did he provide the food for their meal or the drink for their meal? Maybe he wasn't even there at the actual camp. You know, there's a lot to come out yet.
And this will allow a full and thorough investigation to take place with dedicated resources. Detectives and uniformed officers remain in the area, carrying out further inquiries and to establish the full circumstances of the incident, as well as providing reassurance to the families and the local community. This is a complex and sensitive investigation.
Yeah.
And we do understand the concern that it will have caused. Please be reassured that we have dedicated resources deployed and continue to work with a number of partner agencies as part of our response. We will provide further updates as and when we're able to do so. And I would like to remind people that a dedicated major incident public portal has been created. Details of this can be found on our website. Thank you, and I will take a few questions. Yes, please. So, as you will appreciate, we are in the very early stages of what I've described as a complex.
Joe, I wish these press conferences would sort this out. You can never hear the questions. So all the mics are pointed towards this guy, which is fair enough, but there should be at least one mic pointed towards it because they're asking him questions. We can't hear the questions. We can only hear the answers.
Investigation, other than explaining that they came down with symptoms of feeling unwell, I'm unable to elaborate any further at this stage.
Can you tell us any more details about the children? What age were they? Where were they from? What were they doing here? Boys or girls?
So obviously our focus as part of this initial investigation is to show the right care, compassion and support to all those children involved. I wouldn't want to comment any further on those details, so I don't want to compromise any further details within the investigation.
Lester and I understand
yes.
that children are separated from parents for as much as 3 hours, and that's what triggered this sort of police conduct for 6 months. Is that true?
So I can't comment any further on that, other than to say that on review of our initial police response, a referral to the Independent Office for Police Conduct has been made, but it would be inappropriate for me to comment any further on that at this stage.
Yeah, now there's another thing that's happened here that I'm going to read out to you in a minute. There's complaints from the parents of the children as to how the police handled it. They wouldn't let them see their children, etc. So we're gonna look at that in a minute. So there's a lot to this. So, you know, the parents are complaining about the way the police dealt with it.
This has obviously come as a huge shock to children and the parents. Can you tell us if they're being offered any kind of support or counselling?
So we have specialist officers as part of the overall response that will be engaging alongside partner agencies with both the children involved and their families. As I've said, their care and ongoing welfare is of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
As I've said, at the minute, given the early stages of the investigation, it would be inappropriate for me to comment any further on that.
Was the gentleman who was arrested at the scene and was he part of the summer camp itself?
I'm afraid I won't be providing any further information on the man arrested at the minute. As I say, he remains in custody, being questioned by police officers as part of a live investigation.
How long did it
I'm afraid I can't comment on the exact detail of that at the minute.
Can you tell us when he was arrested?
If it's part of the initial response that went out earlier, absolutely. I'm afraid I haven't got those details to hand at the minute.
So can we just confirm, did it happen on Sunday or Monday?
So police received the initial call on Sunday, the 27th of July.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that was it, basically. Hi, Miss Lee. Yeah, so obviously you can't give much information. I mean, it is the early stages of an investigation. I understand that. I think we all understand that. Of course, what everybody wants to know, who is the man who's been arrested? In what way did he try to poison these children, or allegedly tried to poison these children? Was it in food? Was it in drink? Was he there at the actual camp, or is he someone who's provided food, etc.? Yvonne, I know what you're saying. Yeah, why have a press conference when you can't answer questions? But you know, they've got to have a press conference because people will be clamoring. You know, in this day and age, it's like I'm glad they had a press conference at least to say what they could, because you know what it's like. If they don't say anything, then all these, you know, where it's like the conspiracy theories will come out, not only from the social media, from mainstream media. People want something to talk about, don't they? Because they know this thing has happened, because obviously the news is going to get out from the parents or from people who are involved in it. So they've got to say, I think they've got to say something, but yeah, he's restricted to what he can say for various reasons, because at the end of the day, this is going to end up with a court case. He's got to be very careful what he says. So I do think they're in an awkward position, but he's come out just to say what they can say. And we always have to remember at the end of it, there will be a court case. We don't want this 76-year-old twant's lawyer saying, oh, well, he's already been hung, drawn and quartered in the eyes of public opinion, so he can't have a fair trial. So it's, got to be careful. See you later, Bluebell. But anyway, at least he's given a press conference. He's done something. So I want to show you now the place itself. Let's have a look. So we had a look at the Google Maps. So where it is, I'm going to put that down. I've got, as usual, loads of windows up. Let's have a look at this video next. So this place is Statham Lodge. And look, you can see it from the air there. You can see there's police cars there. Looks like children's things in the gardens there. It was some sort of summer camp that was going on. Let's have a look at this video that'll tell us a little bit more about it.
Disturbing situation is unfolding at Statham Lodge in Leicestershire, where a man in his 70s has been arrested following an alarming incident involving children at a summer camp. On Sunday, July 27th, 8 children attending the camp suddenly fell ill. Emergency services responded quickly, and all 8 children were taken to the hospital as a precaution. Thankfully, all of them have since been discharged and are now recovering. However, the circumstances that led to their illness have raised serious concerns. Authorities have confirmed that a 76-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of deliberately giving a harmful substance to the children. He is currently in police custody as the investigation continues. This incident has shocked the local community and prompted a full-scale response.
I mean, can you imagine? Whether your children were at that summer camp or not, if you live nearby, maybe you know that place, the Statham Lodge. I expect it's quite well known in the area. It's a Christian camp. It's just shows you religion means nothing, does it? And this guy who's 76, why is it? Maybe he's always harboured an urge to hurt children. you know, just don't know, do you? You can't imagine why someone would want to hurt children. Anytime we hear of that, especially an older person, you know, teenagers do these horrible things, and teenagers, you know, I'm not excusing them, but they're normally going through some angst and this, that, and the other. But a 76-year-old man, come on, he must have sorted his angst out by now. Do you think he wants to go out with a bang? Maybe he's one of them. No, he's thinking, oh, well, I'm 76. I'm not long for this world, maybe he's ill or whatever. You know, I've always wanted to kill children, so I'll just do it now. I mean, you can never work out a motive for these people.
Response from law enforcement agencies. Due to the nature of the situation, the investigation has now been handed over to a specialist team known as the East Midlands Special Operations Unit Major Incident Team. This unit handles complex and serious cases, and their involvement means dedicated resources are being used to gather evidence and determine exactly what happened. To support the investigation, officials have also opened a public portal, asking anyone with relevant information to...
Now, I have to say something. When I'm looking at this, and I'm going to show you when I looked at their Facebook page as well, I get a really bad feeling about this place. I don't know, I just don't get a good feeling. It looks like a concentration camp, doesn't it? And it's only a feeling, and I know you can't go by feelings, but it just feels horrible. There's no way my child would be sent to a place like that. It just feels, there's a icky feeling about it anyway. But he may have nothing to do with the actual place itself. Who knows who this guy is?
Come forward. This is a crucial step in piecing together the full picture of what occurred at Stathern Lodge. Authorities are urging the public to share any details that might help, no matter how small they may seem. In addition to the police investigation, an independent review is also underway. The Independent Office for Police Conduct, or IOPC, is assessing how the local police initially responded to the incident. This review will look into whether the response was handled appropriately and whether any improvements need to be made in the future. The community's response has been one of shock and concern. Local leaders described the events as deeply troubling and emphasized the need for transparency and accountability. They also mentioned that, as a result of the incident, future visits to Stathern Lodge by community groups are now under review. In Parliament, Member of Parliament Ed Arger addressed the situation by stressing the importance of not speculating while the criminal investigation is still active. He urged the public...
It's very difficult not to speculate, though. I know what he's saying, but how can you not speculate? You know, 8 children poisoned. Is this what is it? Was it a Christian camp? Is it to do with religion? Or, you know, we're just 76-year-old man, though, as well, the alleged poisoner. You just think there's something deep here, isn't there? Something deep.
To respect the process and allow investigators to do their work thoroughly, reminding everyone that spreading unverified information could hinder the case. At this stage, the key facts are these. 8 children were affected, all have recovered, and 1 man remains in custody. A dedicated major incident team is in charge of the investigation, and an independent review is being carried out to ensure the response by authorities met appropriate standards. What happens next will depend on the outcomes of these investigations. For now, the focus remains on gathering facts, supporting the affected families, and ensuring that such an incident does not happen again. This situation has left many questions unanswered, but what's clear is that law enforcement and oversight bodies are treating it with the seriousness it deserves. As the investigation develops, more information will be released in due course.
Yeah, we'll get information drip-fed to us. Very strange, isn't it, the whole thing? Very odd. Who would target children? I mean, seriously, though. You know, and presumably they're not his children. You know, if he's, well, technically they could be, but obviously, you know, they're not. So he's targeting random children. is targeting them for a reason. You know, and I'm starting to think now, is it something to do with religion or, you know, that ethnicity? I mean, we don't know the ethnicity of the children. We don't know if they were Christians or what. We just don't know. So we don't know anything, do we? So we've got to wait. But what am I going to look at now? Because there's a couple of things. Yeah, let's have a look at the actual camp itself. So this is it, Stathen Lodge, a youth centre in England. That's what it says about it. It's closed at the moment, I would imagine. It's been closed down. Let's have a look at the photos. Oh, there's only one photo there. See outside. Yeah, so this is, I think you can see that okay. This is it here. Just something about it. It gives me the creeps, actually, which is crazy, I know. But, you know, I get these feelings sometimes about things. I mean, it's a lovely place. There's lots of fields around. It just doesn't feel like a nice place to me. But it's quite desolate, you can see. So surely the 76-year-old guy, he must have been in there. Let's walk down here. Yeah, it's a funny old place, isn't it? With these outbuildings. It looks like a children's home to me, to be honest. I think that's where, years and years ago, I applied to work in a couple of children's homes. And I mean years ago, like when I was, can't even remember how old, young, very young. And they were very creepy places. You know, it's awful when children end up in homes because, you know, doesn't mean to say they're safe, unfortunately. But anyway, won't go into that. I think terrible things go on at children's homes, don't they? And this reminds me of a children's home. There's a cottage over there, Canal Cottage. I don't know if that's anything to do with the place. But yeah, to me that looks like a creepy place. And if you ever thought anywhere might be haunted, that would be it, in my opinion, to be honest. So that's the place itself. Let's have a look what the Sun had to say about the distressed parents. So this is the reason there's an investigation into the police themselves, an independent investigation, is because apparently the way the police dealt with it was not good. So we're going to read this Sun article. So, distressed parents of children suspected of being poisoned at a summer camp begged cops to see their kids after the horror incident, a witness has claimed. 8 youngsters were rushed to hospital on Monday after feeling unwell while attending the camp at a site in Stathen near Melton Mowbray, Leicestershire. And there it is again from the drone footage. We watched the press conference. So a 76-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of administering poison with intent to injure, aggrieve or annoy, and is being questioned by police. Gosh, so poison, they're actually saying poison there. I presume it doesn't say with intent to kill. It says intent to injure, aggrieve or annoy. A witness has now claimed that distressed parents were unable to see their children for hours after the shocking incident. And in nearby Plunga, a triage, I've never heard of Plunga, but, you know, these places that I've never heard of. A triage centre was set up in the village hall, with witnesses reporting seeing parents screaming at officers as they demanded to see their kids. Leicestershire Police said it had received a report of children feeling unwell at the summer camp on Sunday. However, it was not until Monday that officers were sent to the site alongside East Midlands Ambulance Service, which was called to treat those affected. The Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC, well, we know about those from other cases. That's not, they never find anything, do they? When do they ever actually find that anything was done wrong? It's always, oh, lessons learned, blah, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, bloody, blah, de. Was then referred to the case on Tuesday relating to the force's handling of concerns over the well-being of children. All 8 children who were rushed to hospital on Monday have since been discharged. That's the good news. They're all okay. The youngsters had been enjoying the summer camp at Stathern Lodge, owned by Christian charity, the Braithwaite Gospel Truth, which provides holiday clubs. Straight away, it's giving me the creeps. Just I'm getting a shiver. Let's have a look at the Braithwaite Gospel Trust. Now, you know, I'm sorry, but it's certainly true that often bad things hide in good things. Do you know what I mean? Why do I feel bad about this? Don't know why I feel bad about it, but I do. So it's a charity commission. Let's have a look. The Braithwaite Gospel Truth Trust. So this is the government website about it. The main activities in relation to the charitable objects are providing facilities to groups who have the primary aims of advancing education, advancing the Christian religion, and giving help to the less well-off, providing facilities for Christian education holidays. For example, camping, holiday clubs and sport leisure events, and assisting local Christian groups with pastoral and event needs. Well, yeah, all sounds great, doesn't it? Why does it give me the creeps? I don't know, but it does. Let's have a look on here. Braithwaite Gospel Truth. So they're a registered charity. You know, that means nothing, does it? Anyway, they provide education, training, the prevention of relief of poverty and religious activities. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't like this. But you know what? I shouldn't be cynical, should I? Look at that. A registered charity based in England. Providing facilities to groups who have the primary aims of advancing education, advancing the Christian religion, and giving help to the less well-off. Camping, holiday clubs, sport leisure, and assisting local Christian groups with pastoral and event needs. Sounds like a cult to me. So basically, yeah, you can come to our Christian things and we'll indoctrinate you. It must be just me. I know I am. Oh, look, it was registered on the 16th of August, 1972. So it's been going for a little while. It's a non-profit organisation. This is its area of operation. Yeah. Anybody know anything about this? Anybody had any? If you've had any experience with this charity, let me know. Maybe I'm being a bit cynical. Maybe it's a brilliant charity. I just don't know, basically. Yeah. So what do we think about it all? What's our initial? Who is this man? Why has he tried to poison these children? Somebody's poisoned them. Hi, Geordie lass. Oh, your electricity's been cut off. Oh, well, I'm glad to see it's back on again. Are you back on now, your electricity, Geordie? So, let me know what you think about this case. What could possibly, what reason could a 70-odd-year possibly have to poison children? You know, what is the, you know, does it even need a reason? You know, sometimes people are just loopy, aren't they? They don't have a reason. We're going to come to that in a minute when we talk about the Devil's Den killer. So basically, that's what we know so far. I don't think we know any more. 76-year-old man arrested after 8 children. Now, there may have been more than 8 children poisoned. I don't know if that is the totality of the children that were at the camp, or if other children were there but they weren't hospitalised. It seems like these children were hospitalised. Hospitalised, am I saying that right? Don't know. Not because for a precaution. So whatever he's given them, they seem to think it was to make them ill, not necessarily to kill them. But you know, time will tell, won't it? A lot more to come out about that case, isn't it? A lot more to come out there. Yeah, I thought that, Yvonne. He could have gone a bit senile. You know, he could be suffering from Alzheimer's or something. But, you know, sometimes people with dementia, they do bad things. You know, they lose it a little bit. It's possible. I don't know. But the thing is, we don't know who he is yet. We don't know what his connection is to the charity, to the camp. Was he one of the monitors there? You know, was he the organizer? He is, you know, to me, it all feels a bit sort of cultish. Again, like this Jim Jones type thing that we were talking about last night, weren't we? When we were talking about this whites only colony that's set up in the Ozarks in America. It's all a bit culty, isn't it? So it's got that feeling to me. But more information will come out. So that's all we know so far about that.